So we'll kind of keep it short just because the Wi-Fi is kind of coming and going.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Like
So
all of a sudden you freeze and you don't move.
darn it. Well, I'll be succinct. It's okay, and I can type it up too if you need. I thought your presentation was really good. I like the lessons. Just kind of going through the rubric. The appropriateness of your technology was spot on. Like, I love the use of the game. It's a great way to let the kids explore the interface of the website and kind of intuitively figure it out. And I like how you use Google Drawing with your Scratch program and kind of use multiple types of learning with it. So like they would talk about it, they would draw and storyboard it, and then they would do it as part of their partner programming. Like I thought that was all really good. So as far as like the lesson and how you use that technology, the Google Drawing, and I'm blanking on the name of the website, but the what's the name of the site again? Purpose Games.
Purposegames.com.
Got it. Yeah, I thought that was good. And so you haven't had a chance to use that quite.
No, it's just brand new. I just learned about it, and once she said to try a technology that you hadn't, I thought, wow, this would be really good for this. So I just went in and started using it. So it was interesting. Yeah.
Just kind of curious, can you expand a little bit, like what you talked about, maybe doing a tournament someday, or like having some kind of a reward challenge?
In purposegames.com, you can actually set up tournaments for your kids. So you can like open it up for like maybe a week, and you can tell the kids that they can keep playing the games, and they kind of play against each other in a tournament. And then at the end, what I want to do is maybe the top 3 winners, give them some kind of bonus for winning the tournament. And then the kids can also, if they want to create their own account, they can also create their own tournaments, which is kind of cool too.
I gotcha. I'm gonna move this back. I am too loud right now, so I gotta go somewhere quieter so I'm not too disruptive. And I'm going down to the basement, and down here our Wi-Fi is pretty spotty. So it's my spotty Wi-Fi and your spotty Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Yeah, and so like when I was going through the your reflection that you posted, I was like, I really didn't know what the Purpose Games was about, because it was kind of at the end. But then I watched your video, and like that was really thorough, really clear how to use it. And I thought the video was really good for like explaining to like a teacher how to use the program. So I might be able to find a way to maybe use that for something in my class some way, somehow. So I like seeing. Yeah. Let's see.
It's kind of cool. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the next part of the rubric, technical correctness. I think, and like I didn't really understand all the components of this assignment, but I believe like I was supposed to you're supposed to share a link to the website where like the kids would see it. But you explained that you just would put it on your Google site. It'd be a link. It's pretty straightforward, and kids would just click on it, right?
Right. See, it's interesting because this is Unit 4, and by the time that in Unit 1, it's really kind of interesting because our kids, we don't teach them any software. Largely, we start with the day they walk in, and we teach them how to teach themselves how to use software. So what would happen is we would put this link. By the time they get to Unit 4, they know how to use Google Classroom. They know how to use my website. So all I would do is tell them at the start of class, when I go over the activities, I would just point out the different activities they do for the day, and then they're on their own to go into the software, explore the software, and if they need help, that's when I would go around and talk with them but most of the kids now need very little assistance at all at going into new software because they've done so much of it on their own and they've gotten really good at it. So that's why in the presentation, I don't really go into that because they don't need that.
I totally get that. Totally get that. But that's good to know that's how you have it. Yeah, it's pretty intuitive too. Like it just click on this and kids know how to operate that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They're by the time they get there, they know.
So. And if they don't, they're probably not doing well in the class. that's cool.
You're right there.
You talked earlier in the year about how you got your course set up where you're facilitating and coaching pretty much all the time, which is pretty sweet. So
yeah, it is, man. I just got evaluated, and my principal was in my room, and she was just going nuts because we were doing Scratch, and kids were bouncing between the Scratch program and their mind maps, and she was just like blown away with everything that they were doing. And they're trying to read scratch cards to figure out where they're debugging. So she was like, really, I just couldn't believe they could do all that. And I thought, we've been training them since day one to do this stuff. And sometimes I sit there, and I told her before she came in, I said, sometimes I don't have anything to do, which is a really weird feeling. And she noted that. So it was like, Shab, what would you do? But she went around and she played all their games, and she was having a lot of fun with it. So
good review. Let's see. So the second to last box was integration into the lesson unit, and I just don't see the site, so I didn't know where it was posted. But you did a pretty good job explaining in your email that like it's just gonna be posted on your Google site. So that's pretty straightforward. I don't know. I guess when you do like the final bit and you submit it for Nikki, just state that you have a Google site and that's on there, and that'll probably cover that component. And then for the student, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go.
No, I'm interested in what you have to say.
Well, I was just going to go on to student instructions, the next part of the rubric. But you were responding to the part about integration,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I'm okay.
All right. And then the last one, student instructions. I just wanted. I was more for me, just kind of know like, so when would they be doing these different things? Would they is it like? Are these all different activities, Scratch and purpose games that they could do whatever they want to do, or would they be like, they're going to do this first, then they're going to go do this, then they're going to do this, or they have autonomy to decide? How would that be laid out?
They draw up their mind map first, because their mind map is their algorithms, where they do their step-by-step process of how they perceive their ideal game working. And then they use that mind map to start their Scratch project. Well, when they get to a point where they realize they skipped a step, they have to go back to their mind map and then update that. So all of this is they're doing all of this kind of at once. And then the way I would use the purposegames.com would be that they could use that the first 5 minutes they come into class. They can work on it outside of class. The Scratch project is largely done in class when they pair up with their team. But it doesn't mean that they can't work on it outside of class. So they have a lot of flexibility on how they maneuver around in this lesson. It's really interesting to watch, when you come in and you see them. It's very noisy. And the kids I'll stop them about 3/4 of the way through the class. They all get up, they walk around the room, they play everybody's games, and then they come back and we hold a discussion about how they're reviewing other people's games, help them think more intuitively on their own. So it's kind of a chaotic, constructive, when I first started this, I want you to know it was really hard to take, because I was used to a little bit more structure. And now I've gotten so used to it now. I just, they're all talking and,
Yeah, you kind of taught those teacher
it's
instincts.
interesting.
Quiet classroom, that's what you want. But this is way more engaging for the kids.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And it's very engaging for them. And they are, when we get to that point where they get to stop and go play other people's games, they are ready to do that, and they get up and they walk all around the room and they're playing games. And um, it's really chaotic, to be honest with you. But I've come to kind of get used to it now.
I think I'm starting to get
But
there.
it's a chaotic or
That's like feature.
it's just chaos. It's organized. Well, it's organized chaos is what it is. So, but it's interesting. So, yeah.
I had one more thing that I really liked about your lesson, and it's just that it seems like you have like multiple iterations going on where kids, they do one thing and then they learn something, they practice with something else, and they come back and they reflect on what they did earlier and they build on that past experience. And I just I'm taking like a critical thinking course right now at CSS, which has been kind of brutal, but they talk about that just being like the ultimate key is that you want that that kind of practice of kids coming back, that mindfulness and that metacognition. And I feel like your lesson's full of that. And so I think it's not so much about the technology, but it's just good pedagogy. I thought that was really good.
Well, thank you.
And with that, that's all I got for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the input. Again, it's been a long journey to get to where I'm at today. I think the hardest thing was just getting used to the chaos, because it is. So, but thank you very much. So, and I appreciate your critique. And I know it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people to understand about just how everything works in my classroom. It's hard for me to understand sometimes, but a lot of times you just go with the flow with what's going on. And but I don't have discipline problems. It's just the kids are all busy, and it's the projects they come up with are just amazing. And I think that's what our principal, when she was in looking at them, she was like, I can't believe that this is the first time they've programmed and they were coming up with these types of games. I thought that's kind of cool. So I'm very proud of those kids. They worked hard.
Well, yeah, it seems like you got something good going on. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.